Welcome to the Rise Above show with Patricia Jo Grover. I want to take just a quick moment and thank our sponsor, 133 Approved Funding. They say yes when the banks say no. And right now, there's been so many businesses that have had to close their doors because of what's happened with COVID-19. Businesses can go to them to get funding to be able to keep their doors open and keep people employed. And then people such as myself and Annie can be able to have our consumers, our clients, go to them to get funding so they can have the services that they need. So again, thank you to our sponsors. And I want to welcome Annie Gibbins to the show. Oh my goodness, Annie. So exciting that I just had you as a speaker on the Rise Above Summit under the intellectual dimension. This past time, I was so pleased to have you and just the way that we're able to serve so many people globally.
Yeah, it was such a delight to be part of that summit, Patty, and thank you for having me on your program today. That summit was super exciting, but that's it. You're reaching out globally. You've got so many diverse speakers. I was enthralled myself just listening to the other speakers, and it was really great to see so many people from around the world tapping in to those so many gems, so many gold nuggets, so many learnings that you can have off different people that will resonate, uniquely to those listeners. So I'm super excited to be part of your next summit as well.
Yes, when we have speakers globally, covering all 8 dimensions of life, there is something there for everyone to get something from. So yes. Fantastic. So excited. So Annie, let me tell you a little bit about who she is, everyone. Annie Gibbins is an internationally renowned CEO, speaker, entrepreneur, a podcast host, an author, and a transformation queen. She really is. Simply put, she makes magic happen. She's drawing from 30 years experience in an academic and professional expertise. She helps women to be more, achieve more, and earn more. And she's coaching them to call out their limiting beliefs, clarify their purpose, and construct strong business practices as they grow and succeed. Her unique, powerful journey is shared in her Becoming You. It's the biography of a curious woman. It's a book that she has, and she does the podcast, Memoirs of Successful Women. Yes. Which I have been on her Memoirs of Successful Women, and she has women women collaborating globally Facebook group, which I'm also a part of that. So it's all working and moving people forward in a positive direction. So wonderful. I'm so always so happy to have you on and do anything collaborating with you and helping to serve.
Thank you so much, Patty. And that's what it's all about, isn't it? It's about women sort of stepping up, all of us stepping up and thinking we don't have to be all things to all people, right? It's great to collaborate where we can. And that's why I started my Facebook group. That's the way I work in my business. I love just meeting people globally so that if a client comes my way who can benefit from someone else's services, it's so great to have this massive network globally who you can ask, ask their advice, ask for their services, them ask for my services. It's the way to be. I think when you get stuck in an island of I have to do everything myself, you can be reasonably successful, but you will always be limited. So the longer I spend in my career, it doesn't matter if it's while I'm being a CEO or director, as a business owner, I'm always seeing the benefits of collaborating with others, and it's more fun too, right?
Exactly. And you and I have both learned that as much as we can help individuals and groups, but there are so many different genres out there that may be more suited to one person over another, and their personalities, people feel more comfortable with one over another, and that's it's all in the importance is to serve the people who are needing the help.
Oh, absolutely. I mean,
So
at the end of the day, that's what we do. We solve someone's problem, right? So we have to therefore be the solution that they're looking for. And no one's going to be everyone's cup of tea, right? So if you're the consumer, you're the customer, you're the person needing some help in some way, there's so many ingredients that will affect, that decision, right? It might be the personality, it might be the energy, it might be their very specific, unique expertise in a certain area. It can be a combination of all these factors. And so that's what it's about. It's actually staying, for us professionally, to stay authentic to our truth, our purpose, our style, and not sway from that, because that will be right for the right person. We will be the solution to that person's problem if that's what they're looking for. But if they're actually looking over here for a different style, a different approach, a different personality, then, that's great. We should encourage them to go and find that. Because at the end of the day, we want people happy. There's no point forcing yourself onto someone else when actually we're never going to be the solution, and hopefully we are, if we market ourselves, if we practice in a certain way, specific way, and people get to understand. That's what you get when you get coached by Annie Gibbins. That's what you get with Patricia Grover, right. Then that's where the joy is, because your client, it will be 100% satisfied with their service.
Exactly. So this is a fantastic conversation, because so many people, I've had guests on my show that say, I can't believe you don't mind having me as a guest. And I'm saying, no, by all means, I do not. You know what I mean? This is what I do and where I come from. So, so Annie, why did you become a business and life transformational specialist?
I think the reason I started this business was a little bit by default at the beginning, Patty, that people started to ask me. I had 5 children, including 2 sets of twins in 2 years. So I'd had this massive parenting phase of my life. And through that, I'd navigated 3 degrees and grown my career. And so I was a bit of a mystery in many, many ways. And then at the time when I was going through that phase, it was a bit like, oh my gosh, she's a little bit too amazing, or she's too overcommitted, or too high energy, or what's the story with this lady? And then suddenly, about 10 years ago, hence I got older and wiser, I then had people starting to ask me. Suddenly I wasn't a threat. I wasn't a competition. I was actually a resource, right? So I didn't realize at that stage that I'd actually become my own brand. I'd self-branded. So I was so focused and I was so confident and comfortable. This is just the way I operate, because of my situation, I had no plan B. I had 5 kids. I had to navigate. I was so busy, and I have to do this and I have to do that, and I'll try things. And so therefore I wasn't trying to pretend for anyone else. I didn't have a lot of baggage that other people have, And so suddenly, about 10 years ago, I got asked suddenly, can you speak at this event? Would you mind mentoring me? Would you mind coaching? And I then sort of went, so I started my business called Lipstick Consulting. And at that phase, I then branded it all Lipstick, which was a bit confusing because I obviously wasn't a lipstick company. Right. So I then quickly became Annie Gibbins was the brand. And that was a really big thing for me, Patty. Suddenly, at 40 something, to come out as the face of the business, the brand, I felt at that stage more comfortable in calling my business Lipstick Consulting. But then I realized that actually it's okay to be who you are, right? I realized that people wanted Annie Gibbins to speak. They didn't want Lipstick Consulting. They wanted my wisdom, my advice, my style, my energy, my stories. And so it was through that I then, I created my business about 10 years ago. And I've straddled that and grown it as it was originally a side hustle that I had, because I've obviously been a CEO of medical companies during that time. And I love that. And that gives me other opportunities as well. So I actually still do both. I integrate them, and the day will come where I won't be able to do as much, but I am pretty high energy, and I Absolutely love that. So now I'm CEO of an eye health charity, a director on a couple of boards, and I also have my own business, anniegibbins.com, where I get to coach people globally around the world to achieve their next level of success. And it's super fun. But that was the reason before, imagine that you actually get the business just because people ask you and think, oh my gosh, well, maybe I should do more and more of that. And that's pretty much how it developed.
Exactly. And that's fantastic. And I want to be so much like you and I shadow each other so much in what we do,
Yes.
just on other sides of the world. But you've been doing it for 10 years and I've only been doing it for under 3 now, but still, it's still serving in the same way. So that, and
absolutely. And I love what you
about.
said before, that we are two peas in a pod on different sides of the world, and we've shared that before. And that's exactly it. You've only been doing it a short time, but you're actually, as a sister in a different place, you're doing exactly what started my business. People wanted to come and find Patty. They wanted your advice. You had information that would serve them. And so now creating your business, that's right. What a joy it is to be able to create a business that actually is your happy place. Exactly. It's like, oh, this is what I love doing, so it's so wonderful to be able to do that. And so
you and I have had the conversation before, and I believe it's at the point in life that I'm at, and I don't know if it has to do with my maturity or what, the experiences that I've had, is that at this point in life, I choose to live my life purposefully, joyfully, and gratefully. And to me, that's a perfect place. That center that's bliss. And, and I love to live that way. And I want to help as many other people be able to do that as well.
Yes.
Yeah. And so I know you and I are similar on this next question I have for you, because, you have your 3 key topics that you talk about, to be able to be more, achieve more, and earn more. And, and I love to know what people want to be, what they want to have, and what they want to do, and help them get from point A to point B. So it's really fun. Yeah. But still, go ahead and tell everybody why you chose those things and what you do with them.
Yeah, I suppose because I noticed over years of different clients coming to me, some of them just went, I want to earn more, that's their focus. And so with that, I, very quickly throughout my coaching, I went and said, but why? What's driving you? What's your purpose? How do you actually want to achieve that? And so they wanted the quick win. They go, oh yeah, but I just want to earn more money. I need more money. And so that is true. We all want more money, right? But it's not going to be the solution. And then I also had people going, I just want to find my authentic self and be that. And that's all great. But then what are you going to do with who you are? What does that look like? Do you then want to, take that to be more creative? How? Do you want to be a yoga instructor? What does that look like? So in the middle of all of that is achieving. And I know you're the achieving champion. And so people, they want to do something with it. So they want to be themselves, their authentic self. And many of us, it's incredible, we never stop in life to actually find who that person is, right? And I was a classic example. I sort of went through childhood, found my love of my life age 17, engaged at 19, married at 20, had 2 twins at 23, more twins at 25, and last baby at 32, doing careers. And you kind of go, oh my gosh, when did I stop in there to go, who is Annie, right?
Exactly.
And so my journey is probably, we've all got our own story. And at the end of the day, it does matter what that is, but there's a parallel that we don't actually just stop. And the value, so through my coaching, the value that we spend focusing on who are you and being able to get clarity. And then, so my 3 words in that phase is clarity, simplicity, and focus. When you get clarity around who you are, and then it then becomes really simple. Right? It's not complicated. This is just what makes me tick. This is what I value. This is what drives me. This is what I just love. This is what my heart gets excited about, all of those things. And then we allow us to focus on them more. And so part of my program obviously focuses on that. And then because you're in that space, then you need a plan. So you need to achieve more. But what? How do we determine success? how do we determine if it's good or bad? What are the timelines? What are the expectations? What are the stepping stones? And so achieving not just to be busy. I get a lot of people who come to me because they're just overwhelmed. They've just got so much. They're busy all the time. They just go, I don't even have enough time in the day to really be having this coaching. And so it's like everything is a task. And so achieving is actually saying, I tell people, coach people not to be busy, but to be intentional. Let's just get intentional about what you actually want to do. What can we not do? How do we remove, eliminate, stop procrastinating, get focused, all of those sorts of things. So achieving more in the areas that are an extension of you and what makes you happy and balanced and healthy, focused. So that's a big section of my program. And then obviously if you're in that space, then yes, sound business practices. Yes, I've got 30 years of experience in business. I'm a change management CEO. That's what I do. So I'm very structured, but also not just in a formula, to be able to apply that to different contexts. And we all have a different context. We've all got a different environment, skills, expertise, education, connections, and so forth. And so to be able to help people get those business processes so they can then turn their side hustle into their main gig. They can go for those promotions. They can find out the what's next is sometimes overwhelming because they don't even know what's next. They don't have those skills. They don't have the direction. They might not even have the confidence, a lot of people. Right. And so whatever that is, I then, when you're in that place and you're in the right support framework and you have the right tools, everyone can earn more, right? It's actually quite, because you don't have that waste. You have that, when you're intentional and focused and you have the right tools, I actually see people skyrocket, and so I would be very disappointed if they didn't. And so that's why I focus on the be more, the achieve more, and earn more holistically. And then that's what my magic transformation program is all about. We make magic personally, we make magic professionally, but overall, if you're wanting a transformation where you actually go, oh my gosh, I'm not transforming into someone else, I'm transforming into the person I was born to be. And so that's a great place when you actually go, that's that sweet spot that you were talking about, Patty, right?
Exactly.
And you go, oh my gosh, I actually go, yeah, I'm happy with myself. Even my quirks, my idiosyncrasies, my funny little things, I own it. That's me. And I'm comfortable with that. I know what decisions I make based on my values and what I'm comfortable with and what I can say no to. And I get better at saying no. I'm comfortable about achieving things that I want to achieve. And I'm confident in the stepping stones, the budget, the timeline, the framework. And then I know that when I'm working, it's purposeful, it's intentional, and I will therefore become successful in that because I'm in the right space. So that's my joy. Thank you for asking me about it.
And again, all of that resonates so well with me, and I understand every single thing because it's kind of, again, we're looking in the mirror with that type of thing. Our journeys to where how we got to where we are totally different. And, but some of the things are like the be more, achieve more, earn more, and in mine, have more, be more, do more, be able to do that. And then I say, your curiosity. So my words are curiosity. Your curiosity has to be greater than your fear. You have to learn how to have the courage to work the plans. Once we help create the plans, have to have the courage to work those plans and the consistency to stick to it. And so those are things that we interchange so easily there. So, but you are known as the transformation queen, and that is something I will definitely give you the crown for that, because that's a huge title, but also you've proven it over and over again that if people work the system that you've created, they'll get results, and that's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. It's putting that work in.
Yeah, it is. It's putting that work in and then being able to just be all in, right? So I have become the transformation queen because I'm known as a change manager. People, if they describe Annie Gibbins, I even ask people who'd been coached by me and they go, and they use these words like, you just make magic happen. You're atomic. You're just like a whirlwind who just makes things, transforms things. And so that's right. Like at the beginning, I'm like going, am I a transformation specialist? And then now part of my, branding, because of the results that people get, that's it. I go into companies and I help transform them from, whether it's an old fashioned paperless, paper-driven, charity to a global, practiced streamlined business that will then attract so many more people, whether they'll increase their finances, their stakeholders, personal lives, being able to, I've got one lady at the moment who's written a book and we're looking at a film to come out of that. There's so many things. So being, I suppose I became the transformation queen because suddenly people actually, you can't call that yourself. Other people actually go, because you're the queen at it. You've actually earned that. You can't, it's like asking for respect. You can't ask for respect. You earn respect. So any titles, you're the goal achievement person, because people think, goals, I think of Patty Grover, right? At transformation, they go, Annie Gibbins is the queen of transformation. So that's kind of how it came by default of actually staying very narrowly in my space and then go, this is what I do. I help people and businesses transform their situation. And it doesn't matter what that situation is. And it's not a competition. I often get people go, I don't know if my situation's big enough. It's like, if it's a problem for you, it's big enough, right? And I think we have too many, and then other things are massive transformations. And you go, yeah, that's going to take you, the job I'm doing at the moment takes 5 years. It takes 5 years to top to bottom change a company in a change management cycle. So other things, you get massive transformation in 1 month. 3 months. It's incredible. And people are like, I can't believe how much I've changed so quickly. Yeah. So what I've learned in that whole transformation process is that, that's right. Everyone, if you're in one place and you want to go to another place, then that is your time of transformation. And if it's big for you, then it's worth doing. Right. And that's one of the biggest learnings in life is to stop comparing yourself for other people. Actually just go, well, this is where I'm in. For me, it's like, I wanted to get a biography written. So I had to partner up and get someone to help me. How does that biography get written? If I learned to do an online course, I needed to lean into that and put some effort and do some things to be able to do that. So they were on my heart. Were they big? Were they as big as the things that I also get to do in business? No, but were they worthwhile? Were they meaningful? 100%.
Right. And
everyone's transformation is 100% worthwhile, right? Who doesn't want to be a better version of themselves, right?
Exactly. Oh, that's a beautiful way to put it, Annie, too. It really is.
Thank you.
That's so wonderful. So what value does your coaching bring to your clients? I mean, I know what it does, but I mean, I want you to share with our viewers, because all the stuff that you do, again, it is magical, and it is that magical transformation. But I don't know if it's sharing a story, how to get that across.
It is sharing my story, but not so much. As a coach, what I try to do is to actually bring out other people's stories. I'm there for them to have their transformation. It's not about, so I will share my wisdom and my insight. And I have, in my Magic Transformation program, I'll have 16 modules that you get to have ebooks and videos and quizzes and activities, worksheets, all of that sort of stuff. So you have a framework, which is, definitely important. But the transformation from my clients, they'll all go, that was really helpful and gave me structure and tools. But where they actually get the massive value is me believing in them, driving them. I call myself a balance between an accountability partner and a cheerleader, right? So they join someone, and often we haven't had that person in our life who actually goes, I get you. I believe in you. I believe that if you've had this desire in your heart for many years, whatever, you should do it.
Right.
And then I then equip them for the ways that they should do it. So with all of my resources that have been developed over, you know, a couple of decades,
Exactly.
you know, that's, I can tap into that, but I don't have, you know, and I do have that top to bottom, but most people who get the biggest value actually have that. But then when I'm speaking to them going, oh my goodness, I'll tap into that worksheet, do this, and it'll clarify your values. Or what you're talking about at the moment is scaling your business. I have the exact video that may help you. So I bow a bird into my resources. So I'm equipped that I have it all. But I don't want to put, you know, if you're just then at a lesson and you're listening in, whatever, then there's not as much application. My clients will go, oh my God, I felt like, you know, they're almost at a little stage of, you know, in any day and go, what would Annie say? What would Annie do? And it's kind of like you channel this person who's you become close to you and believe in you, or they'll even just text me and ask me.
Right.
And I'll go, and it's that little shove, right? When we're stuck, we need that confidence. We need that energy. We need that, you know, belief. All those negative anchors that have held us back before, that you go, oh, this could be an epic fail, or this could be really embarrassing, or this probably won't work, or is this a waste of my time? That's why they came to me, right?
Exactly.
And some people do that for like 20 years. It's like I've tried different things. And then why do they get the massive, you know, value? Because I go, all of that didn't work. Let's just park it, right? We won't. Some of those learnings were valuable, but the valuable learnings will re-enter.
Or they weren't ready for that yet.
Or you weren't ready at that time. So now we'll put it into a framework. We'll believe in it. We'll redesign it, because you have to design it for your current circumstance and leaning into your future. Right? Whatever you're doing now is for your future self. It's not actually what was in the past. And so we want to then paint a picture for them of, well, what do you actually want in the now and the future? What does that look like? Who are you now? How does that work? And then they'll get massive results. You know, they'll be, I get every week going, oh my gosh, you know, suddenly it's magic. Nothing's magic. It's actually just, you know, it seems like magic. How can it, you know, when you
tried and true system that when you do it, it works. It works.
And I can say that because I've done this in 3 big companies. I've done change management. So I go, I know the system. It will work. So it's getting that trust in me, trust in the system, and then give it a go. And then they'll go, oh, I've tried something before. I don't care. Try it again. Try it this way. And then suddenly they'll go, oh my gosh, it worked. I got a new client. I got some new business. I created this. I sold this product. You know, whatever it is, it's applicable to all situations. And then you get the energy, you know, and you then get excited. And when we lean,
those little wins add up, and there's more and more confidence to attack the next thing that comes to them. So
so cool.
That's
very cool.
So you've had a big journey, a long journey with raising children and doing all this. And I think that is where you got some of the magic that you had, because just having to juggle scheduling, and you didn't have time to mess around. Things had to get done. And I think that's part of how all of this came together for you. And so that's been part of your journey. But what has your whole complete journey taught you?
I think my complete journey has taught me that when I had those desires, when I had all of those, you know, the little character traits that I had as a young child, when I've brought them back out now, they're still here. You know, you're given with God-given attributes, desires, hearts, and then you also grow and change over your life. But a lot of those natural tendencies, when supported in the right environment, and so it's finding that nice right environment, you know, for me, what has it taught me, to then actually thrive, and so to really nurture them. So for example, you know, I had a desire to be a businesswoman very early on, and for a whole lot of naysayer reasons, I didn't do that for a number of years, and that's okay. But then when I actually, became curious, as you said, what if I could do this next step? What if I could try something? What if I fail and then I make it funny? Yeah, that was an epic fail. Ha ha. I'm okay with that. What if I change the narrative? So my biggest learnings was trust in your heart's desire, and then also write your own narrative, as you get older, to actually go, well, I'm going to write a narrative in my head, which is not what other people's belief systems are. It's not their view on me, as I mature and grow. And so now, by backing myself in that way, which is hard, there's many times that it is very hard. So getting that belief, and then being able to then, for me, it was like to go to night university while you've got 5 little kitties, and everyone says, well, who's looking after those kitties? And I go, well, my husband, he's not babysitting, he's their father.
Right.
Like, right?
Right.
Or taking that time out, which they'll think is you selfish, and you go, no, I'm investing in my potential. I believe that I'm capable. So, doing it the hard way around, but then backing yourself and being prepared to say, yeah, okay, I'm not going to accept that criticism or whatever. And then to be able to get into a place that you go, I'm so glad I did that. So what have I learned most? That the things that I really wanted to do and the things that I still want to do now, the more I lean into them, the more I feed them, the more I nurture them, the more I surround myself with a tribe of people who are actually supporters rather than competitors, then I'll always have more happiness and joy, right? I'll always have more success. And the biggest thing was to learn to define success in my own terms, right? And that is very different for different people. Even for me now, Patty, I've got a gorgeous little granddaughter who's, 3, and we've got another one coming along. And suddenly, that's so wonderful in our life, having this gorgeous bundle of joys. And so I want to now go, okay, how do I fit this? Because I value family and I, so much. Then how do I then, put that into the business frameworks I've had? What do I do less of? If I want to put one more thing in, I have to take something out. And so we're always assessing and monitoring what gives us balance, what actually does make us happy. Because even if you're in that perfect place that you thought I did all this hard work to get there, then that place will always change. We'll always have stages of transition, right?
Yes.
You suddenly get older, you get menopausal, you've got grandkitties, you've got, partners who might be having health issues, you've got COVID hits, and you've got to adjust. So to be confident about, assess and monitor your space where you are regularly, and to be part of a tribe who help you do that, and to also just be friends. Like, imagine if I turn up today and you interviewed me and you went, you just weren't yourself today, to have someone who knows you, who follows you up and supports you in being your best self. Exactly. So that's what I do now, and that's why I love my tribe. And everyone who does my program joins my magic tribe, which is not just then me loving them to death. It's also a whole tribe of supporters globally who then go, yeah, you go, girl, you do that.
Exactly.
And support them when you don't support yourself. And that's why I've got my Women's Collaborating Globally Facebook group, because we can then network and help each other out in our businesses and in our lives. And it's a really great place to be. So I'm very, very happy, actually.
Yeah. Again, and it's that point in life, and you mentioned it, as we go through the different phases of our own life and on our own journeys, what our needs are, what our wants are, and what our desires are change. And so therefore we have to make the changes needed to our schedules and to our businesses to allow us to still live joyfully in that balanced life.
Yeah, and that's a hard truth to learn, I mean, I had that when I had like 4 little babies and I was 25, and I had other friends sending me a postcard back in those days of them finding themselves in Europe, and you're kind of going, well, I'd love to be doing this and that, but you've actually got to go, I will, but I'll do it in the right timing, because you don't want to lose the joy of the stage that you're in. And I find a lot of people have got so many views of I want this and I want that they miss the moment. And that's that whole mindfulness space and appreciation and gratitude of what you have in front of you. And then you'll have also things, like I've got a gorgeous client and friend whose husband tragically died, and then she had 3 children to raise. And so those, when you're in times of grief and real trauma and evaluating who you are now as this new single person, sometimes you go, well, that's right, put the brakes on. Other things will take time, while you reassess, process, or just get through life, right? So it's about giving yourself permission to actually be you in the stage that you are. And then not to say that other things that you want won't happen. Seriously, I'm a journal lover. Write them down, put them on your vision board, and then we'll work out the best time for them to happen. Like what you were saying before, they might have had some advice, but it wasn't the right time.
Exactly.
Exactly.
So many great nuggets.
Yeah.
So many great nuggets that we've shared. And I hope that our viewers and listeners have been taking notes and really thinking about, what it is that they want to have, be, and do, and what do they want to be, have, and earn, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
So wonderful. So Annie, do you have any gifts for our viewers and listeners?
Yeah, absolutely. If you go to my website, which is anniegibbins.com, you can definitely click on the free tab and get yourself a free self-care ebook, a mindset ebook. I've got some affirmations and some sort of success guide. So help yourself there. And then definitely click on the opportunity to have a free discussion call. It's called a discovery call with me. And it's not going to cost you anything. We'll just spend like 20, 30 minutes together, and you can tell me your situation, your story, and I will be able to sort of direct you in, well, what I think is, where you're at now and what you're looking for, help you get that clarity. And then it's up to you to then decide, well, what is next for you? But I would definitely love to meet you. And I'd also love to meet you, even if you're just doing something else. Come and just connect with me and share what's happening in your world, because I'm a big fan, not only on helping you, potentially through my business, but I want to support you in what you're doing in your own world as well. So definitely reach out to me, anniegibbins.com.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you so much for that wonderful gift. And we could chat for forever. I know we could. But again, I have to take a moment and thank our sponsors, 133 Approved Funding, and be sure to check them out. We have the tile there that has their information. And for anybody who wants to find out more about me, you can go to patriciajogrover.com, and you can text the word GOAL, GOAL, to 26786. And I actually have just launched the second edition of my book, Living Outside the Box, and I went international bestseller in 2 different categories for a short time, because that's how fast things fly around there. But also I have coming out the follow-up that works along with that is the Design Your Destiny planning system. And it works along with the book. So it's all about those things that people find tedious, but it makes all the difference. So thank you again, Annie, for being with me. And I have a little short video. Bye.
Bye.